Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. Well, it is technically a hangover Sunday because the Seahawks did lose a game yesterday, even though it's just preseason. You might be hungover anyway, so we'll call it a hangover Sunday, even though it's not too bad of a hangover, right? We're moving on from that one pretty quickly here. And there was plenty positive to take out of yesterday's game, and throughout this week I will be talking about some of the positive elements of what we saw yesterday, because I think there was plenty of that, probably more than the negative. But since it's kind of on the tip of everybody's tongue right now, and it's hard to get away from it, and people are going to be talking about this and wondering about this, I do want to talk a little bit about Jason Myers because he's probably the guy who stands out the most right now. And it's not entirely right, but when you miss an extra point in a game where your team loses by 1 point, you do tend to get some stuff lobbed your way, and it's not unfair, right? You did miss an extra point, and Jason Myers has now missed an extra point in each of his two first preseason games of the year. These are the easiest kicks you get these days in the NFL. It's not too often you get a kick shorter than an extra point. These are gimmies. And I know they changed the rule so it's not as much of a gimme as it used to be, but it is still very much a gimme. So people are a little bit concerned here. Now, Myers did knock through some field goals over the last couple weeks, so that's good. But people are getting a little antsy. I've seen it in the comments, I see it in the stream chat, I see it on the internet. Jason Myers, people are starting to get the doubts, and I don't blame them. You guys know that a couple years ago when we gave him, or actually last year we gave him that contract, I didn't really like it. I didn't think it was a good idea. I think we could have done better. And I wasn't too happy with what he did last year overall. So let's review the Jason Myers situation a little bit, just so you guys understand where we are with him. Because, well, first, I want to talk about the expectations for Jason Myers. So, you guys are probably aware of this interesting phenomenon, but Jason Myers takes every other year off, right? Like you can go back, let's just look at the most surface level statistics possible, right? So Jason Myers in 2018, his final year before coming to the Seahawks in 2018 for the New York Jets, makes the Pro Bowl, makes about 92% of his field goals. Only missed 3 out of 36 on the season. So that's where he started when he came into Seattle. And ever since then, he has been on a pretty clear every other year pattern of being really, really good and being well below average, maybe even one of the worst kickers in the league, depending on how you evaluate. 2019 made 82% of his field goals, and for whatever it's worth, 91% of his extra points, which is also honestly not that great. That's I mean, 4 misses in a 16-game season is not really something that you're happy about as a kicker, but 82% kind of speaks for itself. That's not very good. 23 of 28. 2020 plays a full season, makes every single field goal he lines up to kick. He goes 24 of 24, 100%. Gets robbed of a Pro Bowl spot, who knows why. Can't do much better than 24 24. And he was a little bit better with his extra points. He had a lot more opportunities in 2020, granted, but 92.5%, okay. So good Jason Myers. It's even year, right? Odd year. Guess what? 2021, he's terrible. He's one of the worst kickers in the league. 17 of 23. Rough. 74%, not even technically. 74% on his field goals. Extra points get a little bit better, I guess, but he's one of the worst kickers in the league. 2022, bounce back. It's even year Myers. Here he is. Misses 3 of 37 field goals, makes about 92% of them, rounding up. 92% of his field goals, including 6 of 6 from 50 plus. And I mean, those long field goals, that's why you pay some kickers the big bucks, right? That they can make that long field goal. So, okay, we got even year Myers. Last year, odd year Myers. Last year, he led the league in field goal attempts, which, I mean, that's an indictment on the offense, but he missed 7 of them, including 4 from 50 plus, and he ended up going 83.3, which isn't atrocious, but it was well below average. And this was right after the Seahawks made him one of the highest paid kickers in the league. They gave him that 4-year extension significant amounts of money. I mean, I guess he made all his extra points, right? So at least there's that. He made 33 extra points. We got that going for us. But Jason Myers, every other year, he's excellent. And then in the off year, he's pretty bad. So let's start out with this. If Jason Myers does not have an even year Myers type of year where he is one of the best kickers in the league, you're not going to hear the end of it from me. I'm going to talk about it constantly because, look, if I'm going to pay you that kind of money, I kind of need you to be good all the time, not half the time. But if I'm going to pay you all that money, you better at least be good that half of the time. So, believe me, let's understand this. Last year was one thing, but if he can't find a way to be good this year, even year, then believe me, we are going to make many videos about that topic, and I am going to be writing him out of town. So, understand that the expectation is that Myers has an excellent year, like an all-pro, Pro Bowl type year. And if he doesn't do that, then he's falling below even his own inconsistent standards. But I wanted to make this video mostly to explore the possibility of moving on from Jason Myers after this season. Because, first of all, look, if you want to leave comments in my stream chat or my comment section on the videos saying we need to get rid of Jason Myers now, I mean, you can do that if you really want to, but understand that you're kind of spinning your wheels. So it's 2024, Jason Myers on the second year of a 4-year contract. And even though we are in post-June 1st, you can look. We are paying him the same amount of money no matter what. His cap hit this year is $5.51 million if on the team, and his dead money if cut is $5.41. So we're saving $100,000. So he is getting paid his full salary from the Seahawks no matter what. So he's not going anywhere this year. I'm not pretending otherwise. And there's no other kicker you can really go get at this point. What are you going to do? Pull Adam Vinatieri out of retirement? There's not really much you can do at this point. So we are saddled with Jason Myers for 2024. And we're just going to have to hope that he has that bounce back year that he usually does have. Not off to the greatest of starts, but it is the preseason. And I understand that at the end of the day, we're not going to remember this preseason junk. If Jason Myers starts nailing his kicks in the regular season, 3 months from now, we're not going to even remember we had these conversations about him missing extra points in the preseason. But financially, there's no way you can make it work. Remember, the Seahawks are right up against the cap as it is. So they don't need to be suddenly putting themselves in the market for a new kicker when getting rid of the old kicker is basically equivalent money-wise. You don't save money. That's not happening. Now, the good news is, next year, let's say Myers doesn't have a good year. That would mean he's had 2 straight years where he hasn't lived up to expectations. Well, his cap hit in 2025 is $6.45 million, so call it 6.5. And his dead money hit, if cut, is 3 3/4. Meaning that if you let him go, you are saving a non-trivial amount of money, $2.7 million, which, I mean, that's still a significant amount of dead money there. That's still like you're paying him more than 60% of the cap hit. But that $2.7 million can easily be flipped into a new kicker. You can either go get some decent guy out of free agency, or you can draft a kicker and pay him way less than $2.7 million. So you do the math, it's easily replaceable. So if Myers is bad this year, there's absolutely a way out. And that's really what I wanted to take this video to establish. That if you're worried about Myers, understand that we are on the roller coaster for now, and there's not much we can do about it until the end of the year. And we just have to hope the roller coaster is fun and stable and not going to just buck us off. But next year, if you want to know, is there a contingency plan? The answer is yes. You can quite simply let him go, eat the $3.375 million, which sucks, but you'll save enough money to get another kicker. By the way, you can do a post-June 1st cut next year, $1.875 million, spread out over 2 years. So that way you're saving over 4.5, almost $4.6 million. So now you're talking. Now that's some pretty serious savings. You're not paying him that much at all. So yeah, Jason Myers, look, you're you're the guy for this year. There's no way around it. So, again, if you want to comment about how he needs to go today, needs to be cut today, go get another kicker, you can do that if you really want to, if you feel like it, but just understand that you are basically yelling into a hurricane because there's no opportunity for that. The opportunity is to give him a chance when the games start counting, and if you end up regretting giving him that chance, then next year there are some pretty easy and simple ways out of it. All right, so that's the Jason Myers stuff for the week. I'm not really going to say too much more about this going forward because there's only so much you can say about a kicker. I mean, he needs to make his kicks. He's missed 2 kicks so far in the preseason. It doesn't matter, but it will matter if he starts missing them in the regular season. You know, I could say these things over and over, but they don't change, right? But yeah, next year, there are going to be some options open. Didn't really have those options this year. Next year, you better be that even year Myers if you want to stick it out here in Seattle, man. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More videos coming later. Probably. There's been a big storm in my area, and if it knocks me out, it knocks me out, and I won't be able to post anything. But barring that, see you guys soon. Go Hawks.